confined to saints alone. You and I too can converse with God and even discern his gentle response. Yogananda asserts that the path to God isn't intellectual, but rather originates from the heart. Our prayers often consist of numerous words, yet lack genuine feeling. This is insufficient. We ought to address God as a child would openly weep before its mother. With honesty and unwavering love, God embodies our divine parent, perpetually prepared to forgive and embrace us. Self-doubt, will God truly listen to me, weakens our prayers. However, if we pray with the unwavering faith of Prahlad, the devoted child, miracles become possible. Genuine prayer pulsates with energy, akin to thunderclouds unleashing a torrent of rain. God values heartfelt devotion over eloquent words. Speak simply, like a child. Lord, I need you. Yogananda explains that God's apparent silence often stems from our worldly focus, rather than our devotion to him. This mirrors a child requesting toys from its mother, rather than her love. When we deeply yearn for God, when our longing surpasses all else, that's when we begin to perceive his voice. Communicating with God is an art form, requiring patience and steadfast faith. Upon finally receiving his reply, you'll have attained life's most precious gift. Our relationship with God should be characterized by pure, unconditional love, more natural and intimate than any other bond. We should anticipate his answer with childlike faith. A mother cannot disregard her child's plea, and similarly, God, as our divine parent, always listens. It's crucial to cultivate a mental image of God as a loving parent. Only then can we receive clear guidance. Superficial prayer proves ineffective. Complete faith is essential. Believe firmly, he will speak to me. Even if it takes years, unwavering faith will eventually elicit a response. In his autobiography, Autobiography of a Yogi, Yogananda recounts personal experiences of divine communication. His first such encounter occurred in childhood. One morning, while quietly seated on his bed, a question arose. What lies beyond the darkness of closed eyes? Suddenly, a radiant light filled his inner vision. He witnessed luminous figures of meditating saints within mountain caves, much like watching a brief internal film. The vision's vividness and mystery remain etched in his memory. He inquired aloud, "Who are you?" A divine voice responded, "We are yogis of the Himalayas, gentle yet potent, like a profound echo." He then beheld beams of silver light extending infinitely. He again asked, "What is this light?" The voice replied, "I am God, I am light." The answer was lucid, sweet, and unforgettable. His mother and older sister Roma were nearby and also heard the divine voice. This experience instilled immense joy in Yogananda, prompting a vow to relentlessly seek God until achieving unity with him. Most individuals perceive only darkness behind closed eyelids. However, through spiritual growth and focusing on the area between the eyebrows, the third eye, our inner vision awakens. A new realm unfolds, filled with divine light and beauty, much as Yogananda witnessed the Himalayan yogis. We too can one day perceive such divine beings and realms. To genuinely connect with God, deepen your focus. You will then commence hearing God's voice. Once you transcend his apparent silence, he will communicate repeatedly. Initially, however, it's challenging. God seeks to ascertain your genuine desire, himself, or merely his blessings. Therefore, he tests us, observing whether other desires lurk within our hearts. As long as worldly ambitions dominate our hearts, why would he reveal himself? God desires a pure and selfless heart. When this purity radiates, his voice arrives like exquisite music. Yogananda states, "Our love is the greatest gift we can offer God. This world serves as a test, revealing whether we genuinely seek the Creator or merely His gifts. God never demands our paramount love. He desires a love freely given, unburdened by pressure. This is the secret of this cosmic drama. God yearns for our love, the one thing He lacks, until we choose to bestow it. As long as we plead only for His gifts and disregard Him, we remain in delusion, repeatedly succumbing to suffering. God is the essence of our being. Until we perceive Him within, we cannot comprehend our soul's true magnificence. This is the ultimate truth. We are divine. We are a spark of God. Therefore, material possessions can never fully satisfy us. Yogananda affirms, "I don't acquire knowledge from books. I receive it directly from God." He rarely read, instead sharing his personal experiences. This accounts for the potency of his words. They spring from direct truth. The path to God traverses devotion and trust. When you yearn for Him with all your heart, He will appear. This is not a myth, but the genuine narrative of countless saints and devotees. When your heart is wholly devoted to God, He begins to respond in your life. The world may disagree, but your experience will prove the truth. This direct encounter with the divine becomes undeniable. God communicates through vibration. He may even manifest physically. He is more present than we can fathom. He is as real as you are, perhaps even more so. Currently, God responds to each of our prayers. His divine energy constantly vibrates, constantly reaching out to us. A key truth: God is consciousness. God is energy. To converse means to generate vibration. Through the vibrations of this cosmic energy, God perpetually speaks. He expresses Himself through the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. He is the unseen force behind every visible form: flowers, mountains, oceans, stars. What we perceive as matter is merely a dense vibration of God's energy. Nothing in the universe is truly solid. It only appears so because it's condensed divine vibration. Yes, God communicates through every form of creation. However, the real challenge lies in truly connecting with Him. If you address a mountain, it will not reply. If you converse with a flower, you might sense something gentle. We can communicate with other people. But is God, the creator of both flowers and people, less responsive? Does He hear but not respond? Sometimes it feels that way. However, the problem does not lie with Him. The issue isn't God's silence, it's our inability to hear Him. Our inner spiritual communication system is malfunctioning. God constantly calls us through divine vibrations, but we fail to receive His voice. These vibrations are always present. Saints perceive them because their hearts are open and their consciousness is pure. Why not repair this connection? Why not refine our awareness to such a degree of clarity and sensitivity that we can finally hear the divine? This represents one of life's greatest objectives. I once witnessed a profound spiritual teacher praying. His prayer evoked a sensation of God's voice echoing from the heavens. God doesn't require vocal cords to communicate. When we pray with full intensity, our prayers generate vibrations which elicit a response. This response arrives in your native language. If you pray in English, God replies in English. If you pray in Bengali, the reply is in Bengali. God is vibration itself, comprehending all languages, as each language is a vibration. Vibration is a form of energy. Energy is thought. Yes, God hears every prayer, but He doesn't always respond instantly. Why? Consider a child calling its mother. If the child is mildly distressed, the mother might offer a toy to soothe them. However, when the child refuses to be pacified by anything except the mother's presence, she comes and embraces the child. We must seek God with this same unrelenting longing. If you resolve, I will not cease calling out to you until you answer, then God, the divine parent, must respond, regardless of seeming cosmic obligations. Hindu scriptures state, if, even for a single day and night, a devotee cries out incessantly from the heart, God will surely respond. But how many of us truly do this? Daily, we're ensnared by worldly tasks and distractions, the devil that keeps us from God. You won't find God by murmuring a fleeting prayer and resuming phone scrolling. Instead, pray like that persistent child who doesn't stop crying until its mother arrives. God awaits, but we must prepare ourselves to hear. When a devout individual prays, God discerns whether their heart is fully engaged or their mind is wandering. He knows when a prayer is sincere and when it's half-hearted. He doesn't respond to lukewarm devotion. But for those who cry out day and night with full emotion and attention, God appears. He listens. He responds. Say to him, reveal yourself, O Lord. Show yourself to me. Repeat this plea incessantly from the depths of your heart. Initially, God might bestow gifts, things you desired, as if to say, I hear you. However, don't settle for gifts. Tell him, I'm not satisfied until I find you, not just your gifts. Eventually, he will answer. This might manifest as a saint's face appearing before you, or a divine voice speaking clearly within. That's when you'll know you're in conversation with God. But it necessitates steady, resolute longing, a longing you must awaken within yourself. Just as a thirsty horse seeks water independently, you too must thirst for God above all else. Wealth, comfort, even health. Only then will he come when your heart calls with complete surrender. When you accept no excuses or delays, he will appear. He is always near, awaiting your genuine call. Most people never hear God's voice, not because he isn't speaking, but because they doubt his capacity to communicate with them. This disbelief obstructs the experience. But if you're absolutely certain that regardless of circumstances, you will converse with God, then nothing can hinder you. The moment you relinquish hope, you seal your own defeat. For the persistent, impossible holds no meaning. The divine sound you hear in profound meditation isn't just any sound, it's God's voice. This sound can transform into a language you understand. When I meditate and ask God a question, that vibration sometimes clarifies, providing precise guidance. God also communicates through intuition, but we must train ourselves to listen. By attuning to subtle vibrations, hearing God becomes natural. He is always speaking, always calling, always saying, call me, speak to me from the depths of your heart, from the core of your being, from the silence of your soul. Pray with seriousness, with commitment. Continue searching even if God doesn't respond immediately. Say in your heart, oh, my beloved silent Lord, speak to me. Even hearing once, my beloved, I will come to you. That single divine reply will remain with you eternally. You will never again feel alone. That experience becomes your eternal companion. Initially, however, it's challenging because our minds are burdened with doubts and material conditioning. These doubts cause us to miss God's subtle voice. But God does respond to sincere calls. He answers everyone, regardless of caste, color, or religion. As a beautiful Quranic verse states, is not he who responds to the distressed one when he calls him and removes all evil? Isn't that beautiful? Reflect on what we've discussed today. Let this truth permeate your being. If you remain steadfast in your desire and unwavering